More than 1,000 domestic violence warrants are issued every year in Horry County. That's about 3 every day.
But the legal process isn't perfect, and that's why experts say the ones who hold the most power in the courtrooms need more training. And
in tonight's Unsafe at Home report, News 13's Julie Calhoun takes a look at how judges can better help domestic violence victims.
There are cases pending in the office today that would just horrify you. It goes from the push, shove, argument to physical torture.
LaShonda Vereen has been one of those cases. Her abuser put her in the hospital multiple times.
Some of the hospital workers there said, you know what, you just got out and you're back again. If it's okay with you, let us at least try to get you some help so you can get out of your situation. And that's how the Family Justice Center was contacted.
The Family Justice Center provided shelter. Vereen was able to get a job and face her abuser in court.
Do not make excuses for them, and do not sugarcoat. Do not talk about what could have happened or what should have happened. No, just lay it out there on the line. The judge and the advocate will see that, you know, this is truthful and you're being honest.
Horry County will soon get a domestic violence shelter where 70% of the Family Justice Center's clients live.
When an outside group like the Family Justice Center is able to make a victim whole or closer to being whole, then they are able to come in and testify and tell to a jury of their peers what has taken place.
Family Justice Center Executive Director Kim Parsons.
It's not just shelter, so we're not just offering them a bed. We're offering them counseling services, case management services. We're hooking you in with our housing case manager.
The Family Justice Center has a spot here in the courthouse where its advocates help victims through the process of getting a protective order, something that adds an element of safety in the time between their abuser's arrest and conviction.
That is something that you can have when you contact the police to say they've violated that order of protection.
Solicitor Richardson says prosecutors always ask for a protective order as part of a bond condition, but getting a bond revoked after its violation doesn't always work.
Sort of hit or miss, you know. Sometimes you go upstairs and you just know that there's no way that this person is going to leave that courtroom without being in a van going to jail. And you get disappointed.
The most recent annual report from the state's Domestic Violence Committee says South Carolina needs to evaluate and examine its training at all levels in the judicial system. The report highlights the need to meet with family court judges to demonstrate the harm in issuing mutual orders of protection.
It's often used as a tool of manipulation and control by offenders to undermine family court. It also gives you a problem if the police respond and you have an order of protection and they see there's a mutual order of protection, that potentially impacts how law enforcement are going to respond to a particular incident.
The report says when judges are trained to understand what victims go through to leave a potentially lethal situation, it's a revelation. That's what Monique Garvin and her team with the Attorney General's office aim to do.
They really have a lot of power in terms of offender accountability and victim protection.
The training is done through the Violence Against Women Act program, where prosecutors, law enforcement, and judges are taught about a variety of topics, from investigating strategy, restraining orders, and trauma.
I think it's important if we're going to have a coordinated community response to domestic violence that we're all coming in with the same amount of knowledge from the victim's perspective as well as the community perspective. We want to focus on things like prevention and also response.
The signing of the Domestic Violence Reform Act expanded the law in 2015, but Garvin says there are still some education gaps, like accessibility to protective orders. And for Vereen, she's now on the other side and wants others to know they can be there too.
I had so much stress and anxiety on me from going through what I went through that now I can't believe I am where I'm at now. I feel free. I can go where I want to go.
Reporting for News 13, I'm Julie Calhoun.